Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 216 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. We took a little break so that Gossamer Vale, our other D&D campaign, could take the reins and get 2 sessions last week. Um, they won't be here this week, but just got to wait one more. That's why you got double. You're welcome. Um, Also, if you're interested, this will probably just be for the YouTube people. Last week, Katie and I went and hung out with the Grouch Couch, played a little game with them. The YouTube video is already up. That turnaround is crazy. Like, okay, wow, shit. Girly, okay, calm down. Um, but I'd head over to YouTube and watch that. We'll go ahead and post that like on socials and stuff if you wanna see that. I'll put it in the box below on YouTube, blah blah blah. But we had a fun time, and maybe one day they'll come over here and also have a good time. So we'll see what's going on. I guess I'll do a little recap of a game I haven't played in 2 weeks. So you guys are currently in Skull City. It's pretty on the nose. You guys are inside of a giant skull of a god who died thousands of years ago, and it is big enough to house an entire city. Seems to be magically charged in some way, and that power is being used to contribute to the city and make it probably the most like magically and technologically advanced city on the continent. Uh, you guys are currently there. You were invited so that you could talk to the kiln, also known as Sindri. Um, Sindri is a it's always hard because it's like it's so split on who Sindri is to everybody in the party. But Sindri is a loved and hated and neutral character in the campaign who uh, is currently trying to better the continent. They have the intent, they have built these lamps that consume corruption so that it can be used as different energy and placed elsewhere and used that way, the same as it is at the skull. So that's currently what Sindri's up to. Um, see, see, that's the ADHD. I get one notification on my laptop and I just went, it just fully shut off. And I was like, oh, wow. Um, you guys are in Skull City, you go and talk to the kiln, and he's basically like, listen, I just want to open the door for conversation so that we can like try to get on some like neutral footing. Answered all of your questions that you presented to him. Um, and then when he was done, he's like, listen, currently I am down a large number of employees. And I need assistance, and if you cannot assist me, which is fine, you can say no. There is no consequence to you all to say no. But my one remaining employee has to go into the field and do something about it. And I'd love for him to get therapy. I'd love for him to talk to a therapist for like at least a week. So you guys have been brought on for a job to check in on one of these lamps that may be injured in some way. If objects can be injured, don't quote me. Um, it could be broken, could not be. But you guys will be given some specific tools and schematics to take with you in the morning so that you can get to it and hopefully stop anything from going wrong. Because it seems when the lamps break, there can be negative outcomes. The most straightforward of that being the corruption energy that it consumed is just put back into the earth. It was implied that that's not the only thing that could happen, but that seems to be the most straightforward thing. So you guys eventually agree to this job. Um, you all have an uncomfortable brunch. Rose shows up to I'll be uncomfortable with all of you. Roshan and Rose later have a conversation, um, basically more about her dying, and be like, hey, listen, we're not doing anything about that right now. And also made the statement of like, it's probably best that like, at least in public, none of y'all talk to me about Ave. Stating that that's probably for the best also. Maybe also just good to avoid as a brunch topic, perhaps. But Also, you guys have gotten acquainted with Pink and their business, which is just a big fun nightclub. Roshan, you talked to Mood, one of Pink's employees, who said that it seems like Pink's kind of going through it right now because it seems some hooligans are doing some shenanigans and causing Pink problems. And you eventually go and talk with Pink, all of you, and Pink's basically like, hey, listen, there's this gang, the Blind Eye Gang, that used to be led by somebody who I kind of thought was cool and was kind of on board with. And, were they a terrorist? Yes, a little bit. But it was for the people. It was for the little guy. So Pink was pretty chill about it, and this person also showed them the respect that they were owed, which was just leaving them alone. Unlike the Blind Eye Gang with its current new leader, Bottleneck, who is it seeming stealing from Pink and like taking shipments before they arrive and causing problems in the club. Um, but you guys are like, we'll help. Don't worry, Pink. We'll make sure that your club runs smoothly. And Pink's like, that's neat because if I have to retaliate, there's going to be a problem. I don't want to retaliate because it seems that Pink also has a pretty decent relationship with the leadership in Skull City. So it's kind of like, hey, listen, I don't want to upset you guys, but also if more of my shit goes missing, I'm going to lose my mind. So you guys are nice enough to pick that up for Pink. So that's something to consider after you guys go on your mission and whatnot. Or I suppose you can put off that mission and decide, hey, we don't need to worry about possible corruption spilling back into the earth. We can deal with this instead. Which you never know what's more important in the grand scheme. Um, you guys talk to each other if things happen. I'm sure you eat food and buy things. I'm sure those things occur at some point. Um, I believe we ended last session with all of you outside of Pink's place. I think we ended leaving there. So that is where we will start is you guys leaving Pink's. You have the day. You guys are deciding to leave in the morning. So whatever you guys want to do.
Does anyone have anything they need to do before tomorrow that they need help with? I've already sent a bouquet to Ms. Roan for uh, to thank her for helping us save the world or whatever we did. And I asked her out to drinks tonight. So I'll probably swing back by the hotel or just reach out to her and ask if she wants to make that a reality. And I should we should probably reach out to Tall as well, since he was in the city last we heard. So
At some point, and I'm not sure if it should be sooner rather than later, just for preparation's sake, I think we should consider reaching out to Corrine. Um, the cart that we found, Nana, there were we found it because there was a small tracking device on it. And that's how she knew the location. They're barely noticeable. I'm not sure how she tracks them, but um, could be useful to see if we can obtain one or more of them and see if we can get them onto some of Pink's merchandise.
Place a
And
tracker on some bait, you mean?
yes, some shipment or cargo that is just too tempting not to steal, and find out who takes it, find out where they take it to.
Fairly open and shut.
Require a trip probably to the capital at some point to retrieve that, but if we could reach out, Roshan, with your sending abilities and just ask her what the price would be for such an item, and if she can assist, uh, in case it takes some time to prepare, we could deal with it after our little lantern mission.
It'd be the simplest way to ensure we know where the stolen shipments are going. That's for certain. It's what they're designed to do, so.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thoroughly
She
sensible.
might be a good resource for that.
I feel a bit bad always coming to her with requests for aid, but it's not the only way, but probably the way that gets the fewest people put directly
What are
into
friends
harm's way.
for?
Anything else anyone needs help with? All right. And Roshan will start walking back to the place we were given rooms, and he will first reach out to Tall and say, I think Roshan's all ready to go in and just say something, but then he feels awkward himself, and he says, "Hello, Tall. We are in town in Skull City. Would you have time to say hello, get a drink?" And that's where he'll leave it.
You feel your message go through, and it feels like the time runs out on a response, and one does not, like, nothing is spoken, but you feel that it made purchase.
Well then, no Tall for dinner. And Roshan will reach out to Ms. Roan instead. Hope you got my bouquet. Is there somewhere we could buy you a drink? We'd love to say thank you.
Go ahead and pick a place. I'll be there. I can't promise for long, but eh, 3 drink.
Nix, did Russ tell you anywhere good to drink in town?
So I didn't ask because I don't really drink anymore, Rojan. So I could go ask.
Yeah, I wanted to check in on Russ too.
Yeah, we can go find him. He's somewhere.
Okay. Lead the way, or do you want me to reach out to him?
I mean, that'd be
He likes to
faster.
hunt.
But hey, there's probably 2 places to check, either the apartment or back at Sindri's, and he's in a therapy appointment, so
We probably
Yeah.
shouldn't bother him in that case.
yeah.
So maybe we check the apartment first.
We could check the apartment first, and then if he's not there, I'll say we can't ask him right now.
All right. Lead the way there. I'm not sure where he lives. And then on the way, I think Roshan will reach out to Kareen and say, "Dearest Kareen, Ben has requested some of the tracking items that helped locate your goods. Is that something we could purchase and use?"
Purchasing. Oh, wow. I'm gonna go base just fully on your insight because I've always been a little bit goosey with like loosey goosey, just goosey. I've been a little goosey with sendings, and you can feel a smile die.
Ooh.
You can feel a heightened like good emotion go neutral.
Sick.
It's been a while. You're welcome to purchase one. It's probably around 300. I'll have one prepared.
Nobody said, "Hi, Kareen, how are you?"
It's been a month. She doesn't say that. Jillian says that. She doesn't say it's been a month.
I think Roshan says, yeah, she would be willing to sell us one. But I'm not picking it up. And I don't know who fucked up. Maybe it was me, but someone she needs an apology from someone.
An
And
apology.
well, she seemed mad about something, and I don't know if it was at us or someone else, but she seemed mad.
Maybe let Finn know.
Well, it might be because I even mentioned the existence of such devices that I think Nana and I were the only ones that she told. Maybe she's upset that I let you know that they're a thing. Either way,
Maybe.
I have no problem picking it up. It'd be a long flight for me, but I can manage it at some point once we have time.
I mean, I can take you there, but I don't think that's what you need to apologize for. Just saying.
Okay. Well,
All the boys are like,
I'll make whatever apology.
Fen,
All
did
the
you
men
go?
in the
You
group.
didn't go see her at all, and it's been a month. She's mad at you.
Is she?
She's a busy person. What? I didn't want to intrude.
Well, it's not really intruding when she's kind of got a crush on you.
She's a married woman. She doesn't have a crush on me.
I think she might like the intrusions.
I wouldn't say
She's a
her
married
marriage
woman, and I think
is.
she wants to dabble.
I wouldn't say it's precisely a marriage of romance based upon the interactions we saw. Granted, that was for a very large audience, but no, I don't think she's interested in being exclusive.
Maybe he's a beard.
If he's a beard, she would be gay. She'd be seeing ladies.
Well, you can have a beard if you're not
Second
gay.
beard.
Fen is
It's
just blushing.
pretend boyfriend, so people don't flirt with her.
Either way, she's mad that you didn't go see her.
Fen is like falling back from the group. Like the group is walking and talking, and Fen is like not being in anyone's view and just blushing. His brindling is dark brown right now.
Can I clock that?
Everyone can clock that.
Yeah, I don't think Jillian's gonna make any of us roll. I don't think
You
that's...
all may see that he is blushing and like 6
Like-
feet behind everyone.
Yeah, like dropped back behind everybody, face is red.
Well, either way, we'll have to stop by Jarlsbecker if we don't figure out any other leads on the Pink situation. That being said, Nyx, perhaps with the information we got, we could try scrying or sending together.
I can try. I've found people with just a name before. It's hard, but I can certainly try.
You'll never cease to amaze me. Now, which one of these is Russ's house?
You can't go inside. You wait here.
Oh,
God, you can come.
okay.
Yeah. I'm
Like
sorry.
stopping
He's still
multiple
mad.
people at the door.
Just only lets the two of us in.
Nana does not look surprised, kicks one foot up by the door, and just posts up along the wall. She's just gonna wait.
Keld was also a little like, he forgot that, yeah. So he was totally about to just bring everyone in.
I don't think Nana even hesitated at the door. I don't think she did. I think she just turned and went to wait.
Yeah, Nix and Kel, you go in. One of you roll me a luck check.
Hmm.
It's not a crazy high DC. Pretty.
How lucky is 17?
That sounds pretty good. Doesn't sound unlucky. Russ is there, and he's sitting at a small wooden table. I would say more adjacent to a desk, but it looks like a singular person desk, where it's just like it could fit a book on it. It's not very large, and he's sitting at it and staring at a blank book and just like tapping like a quill against the corner, and just like acknowledges you all come in, and then looks really content to put that quill down and focus on you.
Are you writing a book?
I don't know if I could physically write a book. Like, if I could, I think it'd be a pretty good one. But no, I'm doing an exercise.
Oh.
Mm.
What's the exercise? And why were you holding that quill?
And who's that? Ah! Um, I'm supposed to write about particular things going on and how I feel about them and the like, so that my thoughts can be put down on paper because I am, quote, scattered, end quote.
Hmm. I feel pretty scattered a lot too.
Mm.
Should we get
Speaking
you a
of, why are we
journal?
here again?
Oh, right. We're supposed to ask if there's any good places to get a drink.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You and the whole team rolled up here to ask me if there's just a good place to get a drink.
And to say hi.
See, I feel like that just got tacked on, but
Well, I mean, I'm here to say hi.
I believe you. Um,
I locked
I
them
mean,
downstairs.
um, my man gives you the rundown. There's Bone Spur if you're interested in getting in like an altercation, especially because you guys are not local. There may also be a higher chance of said altercation. Um, there's also the place you are staying, the Fearless Hog. That seems to be like a pretty easygoing bar by comparison. Like, you guys have been there, you've been inside. It's not bad. You guys sleep there every night and don't feel too scared. And then there is Pink's. Like, there are other places that are like easy enough to grab drinks at, but like the rest are more of places of convenience or like invitation based. He says that there's like a couple very nice places to get a drink, but they are like very small and invitation based.
I feel like the most comfortable option then is the Fearless Hog.
But wouldn't it be funny, Keld, if we tell them to go to the one where people fight?
Maybe.
I can't drink anything. It'd be more interesting.
Hmm. We haven't been there yet.
We haven't been there. We went to the other two.
That's true.
I'll bring Goose and it'll scare someone off.
I think we can hold our own a good bit, so.
I think it's entertaining.
You would.
Was there something else, or was this like truly it? Like, I honestly thought it was like a burying the lead sort of thing, but like, I'm cool if it's just this.
Did you want to come?
I should probably work on my mental health.
We are going to be gone tomorrow. So if you wanted to hang out and come with, you could.
That's a good point.
Nix, you're gonna have to roll a persuasion check.
Mhm.
You're gonna get a straight roll, because you would have gotten advantage, and another factor would have given it disadvantage, so it is a straight roll.
Mhm. That's an 11.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, let me see how far I get on this, and see what's going on later. Then maybe.
Okay. I don't know when we're going, so
Sure.
Yeah, I assume it'll be later.
it's kind of a weird time to drink.
Yeah. A little early.
Do you want to go tell them that's where we're going? I have to go scry on this person I've never met before.
All right.
Or we could just make them wait, and I'll do that now, and then I'll go down with you.
I'll go hang out with them.
And I'll sit down and scry on the person that I don't remember the name of.
Waylon Opus.
That one.
I started to scroll to find it, and then it came to me in a vision. Which dice? None of these dice seem relevant anymore. None of them are lining up for me for Waylon. But we'll use this one. You don't know Waylon. You don't
Don't.
have anything belonging to Waylon. You don't even have a physical description of Waylon, but that hasn't stopped you in the past. This is also one of those like looking for an incredibly low number roll scenarios, to get a bead on Waylon if they are alive and on this plane. Begin to make your way upstream and following the water. And the rapids become stronger, and you are just sort of like pushed back against the force. You aren't like shunted out, but you are not able to make purchase with anything.
Well, not dead. That's what she'll take from that.
Mm. So there's over a 10-minute gap. Caleb, you go downstairs. You tell everybody you guys are going to Bone Spur.
Haven't heard of that one. Where is it?
Oh, I think I know.
Hmm?
Fenn's been bumming around the city for the past since we've been here. I think I've got an idea.
Nice.
All right.
Ben's wearing a shirt
wasn't
that
sure.
says Bone Spur on it. I might know.
Wait, you've been there? No.
Huh?
Just the Bone Spur t-shirt over his fishnet t-shirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Can't know about that one.
No.
I think Roshan has penned a quick letter by the time that Keld has come outside, and says, "Could you give this to Russ? Doesn't have to be now. Just could be before we leave."
Sure. I'll take it.
Just want to give him some words of encouragement.
It's nice. I think he'd appreciate it right now.
So why did you choose Bone Spur?
Sounds like a fun place.
Right. And Roshan will message Ms. Roan again, and say, Bone Spur, we'll get there at 8.
You are met with uproarious laughter from your message. It's where you could hear, like, she's mentally trying to, like, form sentences. It is just laughter. And boy, howdy, does she try. But none of it sounded negative.
Great. I mean, Josh out here is like, who in their right mind would pick a fight with Mother of the Sworn?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
hopefully she shows up at the same time as we get there and doesn't need to come in and save us.
Mommy, please.
We
Everyone
could
here
be
is mean to
fashionably late.
us. You're being really mean. Yep.
Kelt's pretty confident. He's a big guy, so if someone wants to start shit, bring it.
We survived the end of the world, so I think we're fine, frankly.
To be fair, everyone here survived the end of the world as well.
Well, they weren't there. You had to be there.
Nyx, you eventually come out of your scry.
She'll eventually go downstairs.
Okay. You go downstairs. All of you are back together again. You've got a little bit of time before 8 p.m. if there's anything anybody wanted to do in the meantime.
I'm gonna go get a tattoo. Bye.
Do you need moral support, or are you alright?
Nah, I should be fine.
Alright. Have fun.
If you get too many, they'll make you sign a waiver. Just so you know.
Definitely go fewer than
Can't wait to see
four,
what you
I
get.
think.
I was only planning on one. How many did you get, Nyx?
Too many.
Only 4.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is it continuously safe?
We'll find out.
Okay,
The,
great.
the guy that they
Well
were
done.
worried about died like immediately, so I think I'm good.
Probably.
That's a vote of confidence for sure.
Definitely. Sure. Right.
All right.
Roshan will
Everybody's
make a
fine.
mental note to just kind of look intently at Nyx to make sure she's not, like vibrating apart or
Yeah,
starting to
Nana just kind of
stress.
like back of her mind. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to just start checking on her each night.
Yeah,
so-
nothing apparent at this moment.
Okay. Good.
No
cool.
ink
cool.
poisoning.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Roshan skips over to get a tattoo. Anybody else doing anything of note?
I think Nana's writing some letters home in her room and can be found there if anybody wants her.
Everybody else disassociates or does something
Goes
of
back
not note.
upstairs when people start
Hilda's
leaving.
thinking very intently about inviting Thoridco to this evening drink, but I feel like it's just too late to invite them.
If you're going to invite them, you got to involve Nyx.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to. It's like, but unless they are in the city, they're not going to make it.
I guess he'll lean over to Nyx and see if she thinks that's doable.
Yeah, we just gotta get to a tree.
Hmm.
I think they'd have fun fighting in the bar.
That's what I was thinking. This seems like their place. So I guess I'll use my one sending thing.
Mm,
Or I have a few charges, but
it only has one charge.
oh, okay. My one sending. Geld will say, do you guys want to join us for a fun evening at Skull City? We can get you here.
Hopefully
Drinks
better way
and fun involved. That's it.
to- Yeah, sure. I'm gonna see one thing. Okay.
Mm.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. Yeah, sure. How? I was seeing if any of them remembered that the whole tree thing. They're just like, it was poor rolls across the board. So
Damn.
maybe you'll get lucky and like they are near a tree at this point in time.
Rashad, wait.
Roshan, hey, you know
We
where
should run
he is.
after him.
You know where Roshan is.
We
Yeah.
can. He's pretty free right now. We could go make him send a message right now.
let's go bother Roshan real quick.
You guys go running out after Roshan. Roshan's like
Ro-
just describing tattoo stuff by that time, probably.
Hi.
Roshan, can you do us a favor real quick?
Yeah. Can I still get my tattoo?
Yeah. Just hoping you could message Thor and let her know to be near a tree.
Oh, yeah. Sure, that'll be great. That's easy.
I invited them
Roshan's-
tonight. It thought it'd be fun.
Oh, fuck.
One second, just so you know, if you end up using any magic while you're getting your tattoo done, it's possible you could, some bodily harm could occur.
Some
Thanks,
mild explosions.
Roshan. Yeah, he wasn't super nervous until then, but then he's like, "Oh, gotta hold it back." But he's used to that at the library, so
Yeah,
that should be okay.
just like
You
just
caught
like
me
the
just in the nick of time.
Good thing we ran.
So yeah, you can do ascending if you would like to.
Yeah, I'll just say be by a tree, and Nyx will open it up.
You feel like the response is three ladies, like middle fingers up and like tongues out. A lot of like jerking it motions. Like you feel like that's the response you receive. So they're
Roshan
in.
interprets that as sounds right.
Yep.
Message received.
Guess we should wait a few minutes and then, well, by the time we get to a tree.
We have to go get a tree that's not super small. So
Yeah. You all have to leave the city. There are trees in Skull City, but there's none that you have seen that are like big enough for Thor and her team.
Fair.
Maybe like
These
Maggie
scrawny
could get through,
trees.
but like
Not Gressa.
Gressa and Thor might have some problems. Some sideways walking to get through these trees, and that's a little difficult in the 6-second window, depending. But you two make your way all the way down the Skull and go outside. And how long you waiting? I mean, it takes a while to get out.
maybe what, another half hour after that? Give them time.
All right.
Man, it's cold.
Is
You step outside cold as shit.
Never mind. I think we should do this immediately.
Maybe now.
Maybe they're ready.
We scry immediately.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
You go ahead and scry. I'm going to roll a luck check. First off, these dice are rolling terrible today, but also it was a very low save. So you go ahead and scry. Which person you scrying on?
And Thor was the one we were messaging, so probably Thor.
Okay. See, the thing is that I want to be like, she allows it, but it's also like you never know when you're being scried on. It's so strange. Like just for funsies.
Should have included that in his message.
Hey, just open your mind to intrusions. But you see the three ladies. It looks like, you know, when you see somebody fake hustle across the street, when they're like, "Oh, I'm in your way. I'm sorry. Let me walk faster." But they walk the same speed, but it's like their little feet move faster, but it's just more little steps instead of like, just continuing as per usual. It's like faux speed that they are moving at. They're like, "Yeah, we got to be quick," and they're moving the same speed that like a brisk walk would be. And lucky for you, at the very end of your scry, you catch like the edge of a tree.
Just wait like half a minute then before opening it. Just to make sure they're fully there.
Yep, you wait a few seconds, open the tree, they come through. And first off, they take in the city. Look at her. It's, a huge, terrible skull that you get to just look at. Something horrifically unsettling about it. Like, I'm sure if you live here long enough, it fully just does not phase you anymore, but like it's still very unsettling to just see the skull from the outside. It's been a fucking minute. Damn.
It's a lot to look at.
So what are we doing?
Well, right now we're killing time.
Which I'd prefer if that was inside, because we did not grab our warm clothes.
Nope.
All of y'all hustle back inside. Roshan, tell us about your tattoo. What's going on in there?
Roshan gets some blunk eyes, some eyes that are blinking, kind of behind his ears and then down to meet the tattoo on his neck, and is going to get the True Sight tattoo.
Okay. That'd work for me. You get your tattoo. The ladies are here. You guys have a date to all meet up at Bone Spur. Anything else before then?
Fenn has been casually, not intensively, looking for mushrooms. He's got the bucket that he used that he bought for the purpose of getting very, very dangerous oysters, but instead we never did that side quest. No, he's just walking around town with his little metal pail looking for mushrooms.
Yeah, there's
Very,
little
very
milk
poisonous mushrooms.
tongs.
I was
He's
going to
ready.
use arrows like chopsticks. Is what his goal was going to be.
What happened to the tongs?
Yeah, you
Oh,
did
yeah, we
get
bought
the tongs,
tongs.
didn't
Okay.
you? Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we bought tongs. All right.
you can use the arrows though. That does sound fun. The thunder arrows, they tap each other like on the tips, and it just explodes, sends
Just-
Fen flying over the edge.
Sends like tons of bits of poison mushroom all over him while flying over the edge.
Go ahead and give me a survival check, please.
Okay. 18.
Okay. During this time, I would say you're able to find like probably 4 more mushrooms.
Cool.
All right. Time passes. The ladies are probably like, it's cool, killing time. We'll figure something out. So they go on their shopping spree. Uh, they have
They have
their
to get their
shopping
glow up.
episode.
Mm-hmm. Do any of them get tattoos?
I mean, Keldon Nix, do you bring up that there's a magic tattoo shop?
I mean,
Probably.
Nyx is showing off all 4 of hers.
Some of mine are visible, probably, so
Seems relevant.
it is. And she'll give the disclaimer to not get 4 unless they want to risk their lives like she is.
Shockingly, they're like they all say no. Like it seems to be like a universal no from all 3 of them. Unclear why, but like it's like nope. And seems like pretty quick and like the consensus of
Not interested.
no.
Fair. I'm enjoying the extra speed.
Sometimes I'm a little fast. Yeah, no shame in it. It's just like I don't know, like I've heard horror stories about it, right?
You sound like an old fuddy-duddy.
Oh, listen, ate through this dude's skin. Like he had it like kind of like a little band like near his elbow. Ate through his fucking skin, arm fell off. Just like
Ugh.
but I'm sure the ones you guys got are good.
Legs are still here.
I'm laying in bed tonight, like, oh no.
Oh God.
I can grow
Am I
back body
like-
parts, so it's okay.
Oh, well, that's good. I still don't want to go through that. Like, I mean, hey, let me like, um, and
No
you can
pressure.
see just Gressa like nodding, like this is fully influenced by Gressa, and she's like, maybe we'll give it a month and see if any of you guys like, have negative effects from it, and then we'll think about it.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, let us know if anything happens. And then I don't know where the fuck we were, but it was just like every person had like a horror story about it, about like a cousin or a friend of a friend, and it was just a lot. Were we here? And then there's just like, were we in fucking Skull City?
Maybe.
But time passes. 8 o'clock eventually rolls around. All of you roll out and head over to Bone Spur. You're going to the good part of town when you feel the hairs stand up on the back of your neck and you're at the bottom of the skull.
Fun.
And there is an unconscious man like right outside of Bone Spur. You don't know if it was drink or combat or both, but he's out.
Huh.
And you do kind of like have to step over his arm a little bit, which is just like splayed at the entryway.
Huh. Interesting.
Watch
Jack
your step.
making a cameo.
Yeah, there he is. He's here in the campaign, boys.
Hey!
Who?
Jack.
Jack.
Oh.
He couldn't find the stable.
He's like,
It's like
Close enough.
An
"This is a
alley's
big
just as
house," he
good.
says. This house
Alley?
is humongous.
doorstep. It's all the same.
Gotta watch out for fucking boxes and alleyways. Madden might be sleeping on them.
Uh-oh.
Hey, first off, could these universes be near each other? Maybe. But are they on the same continents? No.
No. Interesting. Unique odor as well. Interesting. Are we sure this was the... Okay.
Come
Whatever.
on, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
The ladies have already gone inside. They're like,
Cool. All right.
Hmm?
I mean, if the ladies
They're
have gone
amazed.
inside, let's go in.
Gotta keep up.
Nana's going in.
it's the energy of like when you're watching an old Western movie and somebody walks into the saloon and then everybody turns and like looks at them like a record
Oh,
like
boy.
screeching to a halt. That's kind of the moment when all of you walk in, and it is just a group of very rough and tumble intoxicated individuals that like look you all over as you enter and then slowly go back to what they were doing.
We've been observed.
You've been noted.
Suppose we'll either give them no reason to remember us or plenty. Find out how the evening goes.
Yep.
Drinks first.
You guys are
Drinks first?
yeah, if each of you like throws me a copper, you can have maybe like one of the shittiest drinks you've ever had.
I assume it's one of those places where you have to like squeeze up into the bar to get a drink.
Yeah, there's not somebody walking around. There's no wait staff. Honestly, seems like there's almost barely a bartender.
Barely a bartender.
Wow.
This man seems gone, but can pour a drink.
Cool.
Barely.
Barely.
Hmm.
But yeah, you guys get some almost water and can
Neat.
enjoy that.
Cool.
As you all like find a spot to
That's
sort
so
of like
This.
not here. You can basically start taking as many coppers out of your account as you'd like to for ales. However many you want, a copper apiece.
I'm gonna treat the ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys get settled. you are definitely being like side eye observed, but it's not like anybody's doing anything.
Mm.
But I would like all of you to roll me a, um, I would say either a performance or a deception check to present more as locals, to
Mm.
not present as people from out of town who may have just wandered into the wrong bar and are winging it now.
Hmm.
Act natural.
Yeah. Definitely going to employ my commanding presence to that performance check, which will let me add a superiority die. A
Think it's a
D10.
D10.
Yes,
Yeah.
tis so, tis so. Alright.
See, when you add a 12 to a roll, like a survival roll, it doesn't matter if you roll a 6, but when you add a 0, a 6 sounds a lot worse. And that's what
Yeah,
folks.
and when you roll a 4 and you only have a +2, so you roll a 6.
I feel really good with my 7.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah.
30.
Jesus.
25.
I'm not going to roll for the
Isaac.
ladies. There's kind of no point. Uh,
Wait, what does that mean?
what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Hey, listen.
Roshan spits at the spittoon that sits
Uh-huh.
right by the front door, and it makes a satisfying cling. And he's like,
Spitting.
"Yeah, I bet they like me here."
I bet they like me. Nobody here is dressed like they go to Pink's.
Mm.
Um, you're like just real splayed out.
Mm.
It's the confidence, really.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the man spreading that sells it.
They're like, now hold on. This guy might be, and then their eyes pan over to Keld, and it's just like pudgy little red cheeks, and like sitting there, just like back really straight. Pans over to Fen, who's just sort of like sitting back in a chair and is like pushed into the corner and is like, it's like when you're trying to like be very inconspicuous and in the corner, but it's just too slightly off from the
Don't be
corner, and
suspicious.
everyone's like,
Don't be
it's
suspicious.
we're seeing you doing whatever you're doing right here.
We're seeing you
Uh,
trying to pull a Strider from the Fellowship of the Ring, and it's not working.
Yeah. Somebody else sat in the corner, so you're just like in a weird middle section between two people trying to like kind of get into that position, and you're like, shit. Nyx, I think just the energy that you radiate as a person is not conducive with probably a lot of Skull City. It is an energy of, I'm going to talk to you. And I think that is inevitably just what always will get you in the end, is you have the energy of, I'm going to come talk to you. And they're like,
The
ew.
city folks don't like that.
Cringe. Stop.
Don't talk to me.
No.
So
You got some sort of rash going on.
are you okay?
Are you dripping?
And
Are you
Did
sweating?
you get all of those tattoos at once?
yeah, also you're uncomfortable and sweaty. So it's like, what are you going to do? And then it's just Roshan and Nana being really chill and normal.
Mhm.
And then you three.
Somehow. How did that happen?
Who knows? But
I was
Oh,
really
well.
trying to be cool.
Keld's like, I'll be cool in hell. I think I could beat up anybody in this town.
It's probably true.
I
Nyx
have
is
a
just too excited. She made this happen by saying it'd be fun.
yeah. Nyx is like, the energy is wrong for the place. That's just the end all be all. I'm excited to be here is never the correct energy.
Not in the bone spur.
No,
Mm.
no, is not. Um,
Welcome to the bone spur. How tough are you?
yeah, you see just this, the bartender is like kind of like dead on his feet, as it were. Um, and just like there's moments you'll see him lean and then like catch himself. Seems real tired. Uh, you feel like the energy you heard as you approached was a bit louder, and it certainly isn't lining up for you currently. Like conversations continue, but it doesn't seem as boisterous as it was before. But people continue to go about their days. Is there anything you guys are doing besides just trying to have a good time and drink with friends at this moment, as you have kind of set up?
I think Keld's probably filling in the ladies on our newest job or whatever as vaguely as possible. I
Mm.
don't care I talk about
Hey.
it.
Yeah, Keld like
I
leans
can't
over,
say
"Are you
who
allowed to
it's
talk
from
about it?
or where we're supposed to go,
Or
but
what
here's
we're
the skinny.
doing, or what we're
But-
involved with, or what it is.
That's the challenge of the thing.
Ah.
We have a job. That's the end of the sentence.
It involves travel and fixing something. Maybe.
Mm. The ladies are like, okay. And then it's like they pause and are waiting, and then there's like no follow-up. And they're like,
Mm.
okay, cool. Across the room.
I'll tell you more later.
Ellie, don't worry. Across the room, you hear the sound of a chair just like aggressively being like pushed out. And this large man pushing about 7 feet, broad shouldered. It looks like his shirt had sleeves at one point, and you don't think he took them off like himself. It like they broke. The sleeves just broke off from his body. Like it is just his arms are so big. Like Roshan, it's like the width of his arm is like the width of your body, is kind of the situation, as this guy stands up and looms as he begins to make his way towards your group, as the door to the bar opens very casually and enters Ms. Roan, Mother of the Sworn. And this man, it's like you look at her, look back, he's already back in his chair.
I knew it! I
He's
knew
already
it!
back in his chair. What a choice! What a choice for a place. And
It's been very pleasant so far.
Seemed like fun.
Not the most hygienic.
well, it can certainly be fun. And the ladies are like, hell yeah. Like, oh, this is awesome. But she comes over, she ends up pulling like a full drink out of her bag. So came with her own drink, and nobody stops
Damn.
her. But she pours
Nobody
a
would.
drink for each of you. The drink here is shit.
Yeah, we just figured that out.
We noticed.
Well, by comparison, I'm sure yours is going to be that much more impressive.
Guess that's
Oh.
why you came prepared.
Mine also
Well-
sort of tastes like shit, but it is stronger.
I don't mind that.
Well, who's got the bag of holding?
The bag of holding is produced.
It's like, who did you point to?
Don't take out the alchemy
The
jug
void.
and set it on the table. We can provide our own, within reason.
Blimey.
But
Mayonnaise,
every other.
mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Every other, we still
Oil.
need to patronize the establishment. I'm sure they won't like too much, but I don't think they'll notice very much either with the lack of wait staff they have.
I don't think they give a shit.
The front of house looks very sparse.
The bartender seems
uh,
like he's the only one who works here. He's very tired.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I've ever seen anyone else working here, so. But I haven't been here in quite some time.
Well, now you can see if anything's changed.
I'm certainly taking it in. What brings you all to Skull City?
I guess the job.
The job.
We got a job.
Mm.
And tattoos.
I see. There are many
We
tattoos.
did do some heavy shopping, I guess.
Huh? What sort of job?
Somebody who's good at words, tell her.
You can see her like listening to the silence, and she's like, okay. Like it's almost
Maybe-
telling her a lot.
Mm.
We'll be doing some work on behalf of the municipal utilities of the continent.
Like apprentice linesman.
What the fuck are you all talking about?
Mm.
The
Sentry gave us a job.
yeah, the
Oh, and she like kind of like perks up a bit. Uh, he's a good man. He's
Mhm.
what do you call him? Workaholic. He's like his father. His father was a workaholic.
Hmm. Apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, not at all. If his father was alive, he would be incredibly impressed with his son. Um, I was going to say, look at this place, but we're at a bad vantage point.
Hmm. Look past this place.
Um, he's almost family, I guess. I was close to his father, so if you're doing work for him, and it is a secret, I won't pry. I will
Nana
ask him
internally,
myself.
shit.
I don't know. Did he say it was a secret, guys? I don't remember.
I don't think he did, but I just
I don't
think
think
it's
it's
something that should be
discussed
not.
widely.
Hmm.
At the very least, I don't think what we're being paid to address is supposed to be widely known to be in
Just
need
feel
of
like that's a good
addressing.
habit of us to get into.
I think you're making it worse.
There was another founder that we did have questions about, or at least in popular legend. What do you know about Wayland Opus?
Um, ah, is a crazy place also to be asking about Wayland. Ah, but what do you want to know?
I mean, physical description would be
Oh, that'd
great.
be great. That'd make it a lot easier to see them.
To find
Well,
them.
now you've put me in a predicament of if I feel comfortable doing that.
Are you glad she's gone?
She sort of like raises an eyebrow. I am personally more neutral on the topic. Um, I am. I would be more, I think, in line with what has happened if um, it had all stopped. If
It,
if Waylon no longer being in the picture incurred no more blind eyes.
But that doesn't seem to be the case.
It is not.
Well, uh, if you're not interested in that, then a more polite topic then.
Um,
Should we ask about the other person who took Wayland's place?
The bottleneck.
I think that's less of a concern here in this company.
I think actually it's better if you don't.
Hmm. Another time.
Well, I was personally thinking of when you said a mysterious person. Do you know of someone who may have shown up in a big balloon? Has a cute little creature with him?
I would be familiar, yes. Inventor Man comes to town. Uh,
Ptolemaeus is his name.
I think he's working with the chief on something, or
Oh.
with someone on something. I don't pry too much.
Not a close friend of ours, but a dear friend of ours. We
Mm.
spent only a bit of time with him. Some of us did. and quite fond of him. Like to make contact at some point while we're nearby.
Uh, I have not seen him since got stuck on the eye.
Got stuck on the eye. Is that how he showed up?
Uh, Came through the top. I guess he did not know there was a bottom and tried to like lower in and got stuck.
Ah.
No,
It
that'll
was
be a good thing to razz him about.
it was a mess. It was certainly a mess.
Oh dear. Well, certainly I'm.
First time we met him, he was floating in and chased by a rock. The bird kind, not the stone kind.
I was going to ask for elaboration. Okay.
We might have been able to show you the feather once upon a time, but I do believe we've traded it away.
I made it into a cloak and then gave that cloak away.
That was it.
No, I believe you. You don't have to show me.
Still, he's very clever, very good with his hands, and brilliant mind. We'd very much like to see him again if we have an opportunity.
Well, hopefully you can find him. The city is big, but not that big. And I will just on my own casually go knock on Sindri's door, say hello, and figure out about the things that you are all hush hush about.
I'm sure he'd be happy to avail you of what he's asked us to do. It's not too terribly complicated, but I was thinking, since we're on good terms with you and good terms with Sindri, that perhaps we should reach out to Hollister and Hollis-daughter and become on good terms with them.
Of the group, probably harder to reach out to. Honestly, shocking you were able to make contact with Sindri. I would say that I am probably the easiest of the founders to contact, or at least people in charge and or related to founders. But you can try. A bit busy with the anniversary on the horizon.
How soon will that be?
Is Tall.
What'd you say, Roshan?
I was asking, is Tall working on something for the anniversary?
Could be. The anniversary is coming up this weekend, so it's only a few days away. Hopefully you'll be in town for it. It's honestly, I feel like more for the children, but usually everybody gets involved because it's skull wide. She'll fill drinks, seems content to have a good time and get drunk. And while you guys are having a good time, that's where we're going to take our break. How about you guys go ahead and go get a snack and a drink, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Ted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Culture episode 216 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party is enjoying their time before they go on a little mission. Um, Currently at the bar. Brought some big names into the seediest bar in town. But that's
They're
where you are
welcome.
currently. You're welcome. Get in line. Autographs. But that's where you guys are currently. Is there anything else you wanted to do or ask Ms. Roan? Or are you just partying?
I feel like it would be a good opportunity to talk to her, but I don't know what to talk to her about.
I mean, she'll talk casual like. We'll talk about the weather. I don't know.
The
Might
weather
not
in
be the
the
best time to
skull,
discuss, like, the end of the world or state secrets, but,
but
Yeah.
the
You
light
guys
she
stuff.
brought her
seems
to
like
a
she's
shady bar
seen a lot.
to ask about like shady people in town, and that seems to just not line up for open conversation about it.
Yeah.
I think Fen would probably trade some war stories with her, like find out more about like the Sworn and what her adventures had been, and occasionally pour her a good ale instead of instead of one of these.
She tells you fucking horror stories. She all of the stories like are bad, and she says them like very lighthearted. Um and like usually it's like pretty like straightforward. This is what happened. This many people died. This is what happened. This was an ambush. This was this. This was that. Because it seems it wasn't just an issue with corruption. There was also an issue with like bandits and things of the like. Like there were people in the area that were not conducive to the construction of Skull City. So it's sort of like after they were able to deal with the corruption, which inside the skull was incredibly dangerous and deadly. She tells you about just many a nightmare abomination. Um, pretty pretty flat on a lot of it. And um yeah, it seems that it was more like, yeah, there's a lot of corruption to deal with. And then that's when you get ambushed on a side by people that are then like, well, if they're interested in the skull, maybe we're interested in the skull, or at least getting all their weapons that they're carrying, because it seems they are ready for a full assault against said skull. So it seems a very rough time at the beginning of Skull City's inception.
Yeah, I think Fen went into the conversation like looking to just trade war stories and kind of one up, and then like as she goes more and more into detail about like her actual experiences, he's more like switches into like taking notes and like like he'll ask follow-up questions about like
Mhm.
how the lanterns fight the corruption or ward it off, because we're going to investigate some
Oh,
lanterns.
she
So
has no fucking clue on that. When you steer the direction that way, she's like, "Hey, you guys are friends with Sindri. You talk to him." I don't get it. I never got it.
oh, I just thought it was part of how you cleared the skull of corruption, or was it not until you took the skull that you were able to harness that power?
We had to take the skull first, so that the kiln was able to come in and actually use that magic for that purpose. Was it fully cleared? No. Did we have to eventually fully clear it? Yes. Um, so you can bring corruption inside the skull. It's just it would struggle then to grow, or if you kill it, it would take a much longer time for it to like reincorporate. But like from our soil, um, no corruption can sprout. But it's not like if a corrupted thing meandered in, it would die instantly.
Then I'll like make eye contact with Nix and like nod towards Goose.
Yeah, we
Maybe
already
not the
know how
most
I feel about that thing.
maybe not the most hospitable environment for your offspring there.
He's doing well.
I
It's
know
this
he is.
blank, unblinking stare, like no movement, just
Hey,
so
leave Goose out
still.
of this.
And Sindri promised he was going to help take care of him. So,
Oh, Sindri's taking care of that?
he's going to help.
Oh, well, if anybody knows anything, he might know something.
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. It's so strange. Like, I watched him, grow up, right? I don't want to say he's like a son because I have children and I should say they're like children, but we're not close. But I don't know. I guess a little protective sometimes, but like he's a grown ass man. So like I try to keep my distance.
That can be hard if it's someone you care about.
Mm. Yeah, and and both of his parents died like very close together, and so it was a community sort of stepping in kind of thing.
Oh, that must have been hard. Fen tries to show empathy for a guy he doesn't like very much. How long ago was that?
Oh, he was a teenager, almost a man, but not exactly.
And you
Nana
sort
takes
of
a long drink.
you
I don't know
sort
if
of
we know what
stepped in
happened.
and
Okay. We'll start here. Kel, what were you saying? I was just like, I couldn't catch it. Usually I can like filter like multiple people out. For some reason, it was like the like Yanni Laurel situation where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I had to be listening for one or the other and it didn't work. Kel, you go first.
Keld would ask what happened to his parents. Maybe
Oh,
we already know, but I don't remember.
yeah, I would say you have not heard about this. Just
Okay.
this is not lore that has come out. Lucky for you, she is a little intoxicated. Uh, it was sad but expected, you know. His father was working in the kiln, workplace injury, um, ends up passing away. His mother was always a bit more sick, frail. I never say anyone dies of heartbreak, but it's I think easy sometimes to give up, especially when you're not at 100%. And I don't think she was taking care of herself, so there was a period of maybe a month tops between the two passing.
I see.
But Sindri had been working in the kiln since he could walk, I think. Maybe even before that, put him in a little sling, carry him around like a little baby. But um, he jumped in near immediate, which made me worried. And I'm like, relax, but I don't think he knows how.
Hmm.
It's kind of why I like introduced him to like starting to go to Corrine's parties. Is I wanted him to like have at least one night where he had to be like sort of chill, and then I realized that maybe I'm the only person who's chill at these parties. And
That does not seem the
Maybe
kind of party to be chill at, although I, it was
everyone
the
seemed
first
really on
party.
guard.
It was the first party of its kind I've ever been to. Maybe I was reading too much into it. It did not feel relaxed.
I'll be honest, we stressed about it for weeks before it even started. Felt like months.
mm, well, stress can do that. um but this is how I always felt about it. A lot of people go in there with like intention, right? Then it's work. I do not go in with intention except to like have a drink, maybe see some old friends. I don't go in like a business meeting. Sindri goes in like a business meeting, and I'm like, ah, shit, I fucked that one up. But
Your way seems a lot more fun.
yeah, no, that's the only way to do it. Everyone else, I think, has it a little backwards. But
That's what I tried to do.
There's so much going on in there.
hey, focus on the drink and the dance, and maybe like a couple people you know. How have you been? That's great. I'm gonna go get a drink. That kind of shit.
Nana
don't-
just takes another long drink.
Yeah, there are people who go in there for you either go in there, if you're not me, to grease palms, make deals, or put on a show. Those are the three reasons people go. And I've come to terms with that a long time ago, and I have no reason to do any of those things. My name is known. So I just have a good time. I don't fault anybody there for, stick up the ass behavior, but what are you going to do? Gives me a reason to dress up.
That part was fun, guys.
Until we had to take it off at the end of the night. Then it was rather a pain.
Oh, hi,
That
Grouch
works.
Couch. Thanks for swinging by. How you doing?
Hey, friends!
Wow.
Fancy seeing you here.
Breeze, stop it. Stop following me. Stop it. Yeah, is there anything else for really seedy bar times? Or is it just bopping about?
Keld's just
Roshan would
trying to
like
bop about.
to. Roshan would like to buy at least one round of drinks for the bar, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll put down a whole gold piece, which probably will pay for more than that. So close
Mhm.
enough.
That works. You don't get any acknowledgments from the people at the bar. Maybe it's because you aren't from here. Maybe it's because you're in here with one of the most important women in the city. Unclear. But people are ignoring you to the best of their abilities now.
Guess that's for the best.
We've got big scary dog privilege.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nyx is a little disappointed about it because things are much less interesting in here than she was hoping.
Nix, you can always start a fight.
Oh, no.
It's probably not that hard.
Just throws a drink in someone's.
I watch this shit.
Stone cold sober. Just watch this.
She just like.
Hey, Joel,
I need
if
to be
I
drunk
do
to have a
that,
good
can
time.
do I get my do something fucking crazy square? If I
I've been
say-
trying to give you do something fucking crazy
Nix.
forever. And if you think this would do it, then by all means, you can follow
Get
your heart.
it! Get it! Now's the time!
This might be the spark you were looking for.
It doesn't feel right to do that with our
Because we're
friend
together
here.
too.
I mean, she isn't wearing her resplendent golden armor. She does look like she's carrying a much smaller sword with her, though, which is actually pretty rare for the city. You don't usually see a lot of weaponry on anybody here. But she is not carrying like the two-hander. Just a normal short sword at this time. But if you want to pick a fight, you may. If you would prefer not to, you don't have to. But you could. You saw a big boy who wanted to fight earlier and then decided against it.
No, not today. I can come back when she's
come
not
back
with us.
You come back an hour later after you all leave, and you're like, okay, square up.
Now it's time to do something
my
fucking
God.
I
crazy!
want to fight this specific guy.
Yeah.
This guy,
Hello.
Mr. Wants
ever
to
just-
square up.
Cone of cold a room, and then everyone was dead. Weird.
Jesus.
Weird,
how
huh?
that happens.
Hey, I don't have Cone of Cold, but I could, do some other things.
I'm sure you could kill everybody in this bar. if you were so inclined. But if there's nothing else, if there's anything you guys wanted to do after getting a little shitty, fully up to you. You guys haven't somewhere to be bright and early.
I think Fenn's happy to go back and get some rest. He probably drank more than he planned to, just by nature of having conversation with Ms. Roan. So if anyone else is going back to the hotel, then he'll accompany them.
I think Keldal.
Yeah, how late
The
does
ladies,
Ms.
I
Roan
think.
stay out with us?
She'll probably stay however late you guys are staying. She's definitely not first to go.
I mean, if we've got some place to be bright and early, but we're kind of relaxing, I feel like maybe we're, like, heading out from the bar probably, like, what, 10, 11? Like, maybe midnight's pushing it, but...
That's such a long time for Nyx to just sit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
no,
toss
that's
one?
Like, I gotta
true.
go.
That's true. That's a long time to expect Nyx to behave herself.
At minimum, she's gonna go bother the guy.
God,
We'll all
okay.
go sit there.
Sweet.
Well,
So what do
what
you
do y'all
do?
think?
Let's see, we have these terrible drinks. Her normal choice is usually just to sit down at the table, see what's going on.
Mmm.
Is that today's choice?
That's
Maybe
today's
they're
choice.
doing something fun over
We'll
there.
sit right
Yeah.
next to the guy.
So what, it's like hour 2 and Nyx is like, well, up over.
This is really. You guys have fun. We'll take a terrible drink and head over there.
You go and sit next to this man, and when you sit down, it's just like the aggressive height discrepancy of sitting down right next to him. It's almost like he eclipses the sun, is what it feels like. There's like one light in this room, and he fully eclipses it with his body. And it's like slowly, like he turns to look at you. His neck is so thick, so it's just like full body, like turn to look at you.
Oh, it's been like 2 hours and you were coming over to say something to us, so you never did. So I thought I'd come over.
Roll me a persuasion check.
With this -1, guys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 15.
He looks at you for like a long moment, and you can just like see like his eyes are like red rimmed, and just the veins on his neck are bulging as he stares at you with like a set jaw. And he just starts laughing. And he like does like a huge fist slam on the table, and your drink lifts up like a solid foot and then hits back down on the table again. It seems that he is liking the vibe.
It's a good party trick. She'll start putting more drinks out. See how many you can do that with.
Shit. This man is just like fists down on this table to see how many drinks he is able to fling into the air at the same time. And then it becomes like, can you fling one up and then like put a drink under it and like catch it on top of it? It becomes a whole thing.
Now somebody has to start singing.
Yeah. You've got the bar's attention, Nyx. That people are in. This is what people are putting money down on now, is if this man can keep it up.
You know what? If there's money going around, Nana will kind of like hang out on the outskirts and kind of look at what people are putting down for bets.
Coppers.
Yeah, coppers. And does it seem like they're favoring any certain kind of way?
It really fully depends on what happened the time before.
Interesting.
If he succeeded, they vote for him. If he does not succeed, they're like, it won't happen again. And that's just how it is all swayed.
Fantastic. Fascinating. Nana's just kind of like content to watch this. She's not going to put down money as yet, unless things get wilder. But at this point, content to kind of like people watch and kind of like at some point maybe like lean over like towards Ms. Rowe and be like, is this common?
Which part?
Not sure. Contests of abnormal skill.
That sounds like bar games to me.
You know, I can't argue with you, though.
I think, as is wont to happen, Nix's silliness just feeds Keld's silliness, so he's gonna casually pull out his new pipe and blow bubbles at people. Because what else am I gonna do with this thing?
Good question.
Um,
It's a bubble pipe.
Cal, go ahead and roll persuasion. I'll give you advantage because you came in with Nyx.
Hmm. Hmm. 23. Wait, hold on. 21?
I was just like, when you say it like a question, I'm like, I can't correct you. You could say any number at me and I have to believe you. You like 74 and I'd be like, I bet that somehow checks out.
21.
It was 71 this time, yeah.
Yeah,
It was, it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
solid
We checked it.
71.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You all saw it,
So I
Dice
rolled
Cold.
like a 60 or whatever.
Hey, listen, sometimes you can roll really, really good. And this, not too shabby. Blowing bubbles in the faces of dudes in a seedy biker bar. You would think might result in what would be what Nyx was looking for, which was combat via fists. But I think they're just really caught up in the vibes right now. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Also, this man is so fucking tall. This man is so tall and it looks kind of built.
And he's just
Maybe,
blowing these bubbles.
maybe
Just let him be
not my
silly.
problem.
Yeah,
If you
let him
come
be
in there
silly.
being silly, it's kind of like, actually, I'm kind of afraid of this man. So yeah, this is happening. Anything else? People seem content to do that for an extended period of time.
I'll start goading him to try to hit the cup so it goes taller than his head next. That's the new goal.
All right, new goal. He's gonna roll strength.
Believe in you, buddy.
He brings his fist down in the same spot that he's been bringing it down in this whole time. And the cup goes nowhere as his fist goes through the table in its entirety. Meaning that people have lost
I was
coin
wondering
and
when that was
must
going to happen.
exchange it through hands. As it did not jump upwards any taller. It barely wobbled because he took a chunk of the table instead.
Clearly his strength is not in question. It's just the stability of the medium on which he's working.
Yeah.
Need a new table.
Yeah. You watch as like dudes pick up tables and move them around and like new table is put there.
The lady said another table! We need another table over here!
And it's
Guys,
just
I'm
like
making so many friends.
they fireman pass just like a new table to the spot.
I'll get all their names later.
Yeah, you acquire many a friend tonight, Nyx. Anything else during the shenanigans? No bedtime?
I think so.
If anybody participated in the betting, you can give me a luck check.
I think eventually Nana would have put down at least a little.
Yeah. Of course I would.
Naturally,
Go
Nyx
ahead.
has to.
I got a 10.
I actually also rolled a 10.
Both of you lose money and gain money through the night.
Yep.
And leave with the exact same amount that you started with.
Nice.
I feel like Snotcher's telling me something.
That it was more fun to gamble with the cards.
I'm not sure that would be Snotcher's message. I feel like that would be Loki's.
Can we get them out of the box? I can bring them back here and let my new friends try it.
Soon as you can tell me how to turn this back into a skeleton key.
We just gotta call him back up. He'll do it.
I'm sure. If he can tell us how to do it without him sucking on my finger, I'd really prefer that. If it must be done that way, whatever. It's magic, it's whatever. It just... If there's an alternative. Can I suck my own finger and turn it into a skeleton key instead of somebody else doing it?
No.
Okay. Fine. Whatever. It's fine.
All right. Your night eventually comes to an end. Ms. Roan sort of like walks you to the ramp. Like kind of stays in pace with all of you until you get like a good way up the ramp, and then like honestly, Babes does not live at the bottom of the ramp. She follows you
No.
up the ramp to her fucking house that is probably near the top of the skull.
That makes
And
sense.
but like stays in step with all of you the way up. Dropping you off at your abodes as she goes. Eventually, all of you return to wherever you are staying that night. Is there anything now that you are separated, or is it time for honk shoes?
How lit did everyone get?
Anana got pretty in her cups. I don't think she stays up very late, but I think there's some sloppy journaling that happens, and then she falls into bed.
I think Fen drank about 50% more than he planned to, but I don't think he's like torn up in any way. Just pleasantly buzzed.
I think Roshan had like 2 tops.
Yeah, I feel like Keld's pleasantly buzzed. Sounds like most of the beer is pretty weak, so it's whatever Miss Rowan gave us.
And Nix, you weren't drinking, correct?
Have
was
a
just like-
cup.
How you feeling?
What would be the point?
These
Made a
belligerent
drink.
sobers.
She had one just for looks and then swapped to water.
Nix will never know she can get intoxicated again. A
Yeah.
beautiful
She'll
story.
never know. She'll just be healthily sober the rest of her life, except for other intoxicants.
You guys just defined something that's alcoholic that tastes really good.
And then we'll all find out that she can get drunk again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crunchy pineapple drinks. We know this.
Take her to
Obviously.
Eagles Bar.
We got
You gotta-
to. She has to taste the saga special.
Yeah.
You might have to drag her in there, but
Is he there? Is he there? Is he mad at me? Yeah. Y'all get to whatever level of turnt you see fit. The ladies get solidly turnt. Ms. Roan also gets, I think, pretty intoxicated. But enough to be able to walk the ramps without much problem. So
But she is
Usually
a
the dream.
native, so
it's true.
she,
If
she
you
can
all
handle
were
that.
like shit-faced, there might be roles involved, but because that is not the case. Well, Nana, now hold on.
No, hold on. All
How
right.
about you go ahead and roll dexterity for me? Just straight
Sure.
dexterity, disadvantage.
Okay, I can do that. 1 second. Well, the disadvantage straight dex is 12.
Okay. There is a point on a rather thin ramp Just
Mhm.
this one ramp is just sort of like 4 feet of just like basically a 4x4. That's all it is. Is this
It's a
basically
little
this
rough.
spot?
It's a little
Um,
rough.
you know, you probably could have avoided it entirely if you were paying more attention, but that is not the case while you were this intoxicated. There's a moment of misstep, and you feel like a solid hand, like kind of on like your back that like just pushes you back up silently, and Gressa sort of just walks past you. Doesn't say anything.
Thanks.
Gressa seems a lot less intoxicated than her companions.
Nana does not miss that.
But eventually you all don't die and you make it back to your rooms.
Hooray!
Anything during the night or honk shoes? I don't remember what we said. We just started talking about how drunk we were.
It was because Nana was drunk journaling and then flopping into bed.
Yeah. You all take the night and you eventually get a long rest. No problems. You wake up bright and early as honestly as you see fit. Your intent was to leave in the morning for your mission. Before you go, Nix and Keld, because you would be with Russ. Russ talks to you. First, he's like, "Sorry, I couldn't make it. Honestly, fell asleep on this book. Fully out." Um, and you don't think he's lying, as there is like it looks like ink marks that like are still remnant like on his like
Some
face.
drool on the page.
He's like, no, it's fine. But he talks about like where you're headed, and that if like anything goes like really wrong and you need to like you can't get to us, but you need somebody hard hitting in the area. The spine is fully chiefed by one person, and that person is Linnea, who Nix you met at the party. The woman that wanted to dance with Russ seemed to have been a bit of a party fling a few years in a row. Took over the spine from her parents, and so he's like, I don't know if she'll be, in that town, but like it is a name you could throw around if like you really, really needed to, like if something really went sideways.
Okay. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, he doesn't seem worried either, but he's like, hey, listen, like if you got in trouble with like the police, it's like, hey, we know Linnea, we promise. And you can see if that
She's
works.
my best friend.
Good to know.
I've met her before. We party as you're dragged away. I know her.
We
I
party.
let her dance with my husband as you're dragged away. We're close. Yeah, you all meet up, ready to go on an adventure back outside. So you probably want to grab your jackets, as it is
Could
chilly.
could
Mm.
Roshan that morning knock on Nana's door before everyone gets up and ready to go?
Sure. You make your way over.
Roshan will knock and hope that Nana's sober enough by now to wake up and hear it, or already be awake.
I think that probably he's caught her not very long after she woke up. Looks a little rough, but she got a full night's sleep. She's just a bit bleary-eyed. Maybe has smidgen of a headache. Morning. What's up?
I think Roshan stands there for an awkward 15 seconds, not twiddling his thumbs, but worrying his hands, and then says, Nana, I love you, and that's why this is hard to say, but
Why don't you come
I
in here and we can say this behind a door, it sounds like something you're gonna want some privacy for.
Yeah, Roshan will shut the door.
Nana will, like, usher him to, you know, the bed and sit down next to him. And all right, so you lead off saying you love me and this is going to be hard. So this is only going to be good fun news, I'm sure. Go right ahead.
And Roshan takes a second to collect himself. I don't trust right now that you have everyone's best interests at heart. Your hatred of Sindri is liable to tear us apart, and I saw you barely keep it in last night when we were talking to someone who considers him her son. If Sindri were a blemish on your cheek, you'd cut it off, and your nose just for good measure.
You've
I don't
got
want
to
to
cut
tell you
out
how to
rot
feel.
before it spreads, don't you?
Nana, let me finish. I don't want to tell you how to feel, but I will remind you that it was Ave who planned his own death, precisely. And he's the
I'm
only
aware.
person to blame for it. I loved him like a father, and now it's like he's been puppeting us from beyond the grave for months.
Yeah.
And I want to be there for you, Nana, but I won't do that at the expense of our friends. I don't know what you need, but if you do, tell me and we can work together to make sure you get it.
Frankly, I don't think there's a damn thing left in the living world that will fill what I need. I need to know why we've been on this never-ending errand of cleaning up after Ave's loose ends, good intentions, and meticulously laid plans. Hell, I'd settle for just knowing why I needed to be on the mountain watching him die. I'd love to know that much. He didn't tell me a damn thing about it beforehand. I wondered, you know. I wondered why he was looking so tired. He said it was just the burden of the chief. Occupational hazard. Should I have been trying to be more like him? Should I have been trying to follow in his footsteps? Should I have been trying to be a replacement for him? Would that have given me any idea of what we were walking into?
As someone who's frankly spent their entire life trying to be Ave, no, it doesn't help. It wouldn't have brought you any closer to the truth because he's a secretive person. And the only reason I know I was there with you that day is because he had a vision, and that vision had both of us there. Now, I don't have the answers, but there is someone who might, although I haven't been able to ask them myself. Um, so, uh, how to put this in the simplest terms? The shadow was a handful of collected memories, but I think primarily they were Ave's. and perhaps just the will of the other memories that stuck along were too great for him. And well, we've peeled back layers. We've gotten rid of Fenrir and Gulvag, and they're lucid enough to have chosen a name, the Keeper. And they have Ave's memory not easily. It's like the analogy they used was like walking into a rainstorm, and each booklet or each drop was a book, and when they hit his skin, he knew all of it at once. And so I'm sure that's incredibly hard to parse, but if you want, you can ask the Keeper, um, and I'd like you to, because I've been, I think, too afraid to ask myself. But
That's all I've wanted to know. So, yeah. Yeah.
well, when we're done with today's journey, and I'm assuming we'll be in the mansion tonight, um, we can have a chat.
I'd like that.
Sorry to start the day off on a glum note, but
Well, yesterday ended on a bit of a glum note for me, but you already pointed that out. Look, I'm not going to make problems. Okay? I'm not going to insult him. I'm not going to make remarks. I'm not going to talk about Ave. All right? But being able to talk with the Keeper would go a long way towards me being able to keep my peace. Maybe I'll have something to chew on instead.
I hope that they can provide.
If it's as you say and it's that difficult, then I will hold neither them nor you any ill will if there isn't much we can find tonight. But if they're willing to speak with me again, perhaps, if not tonight, then maybe in the future.
They've said that if there was something that they could look into for me, then they could, but I think it's important that you speak with them with something that was once a part of Ave.
Be nice to have something else of his. Do you know, I've been starting to forget his face. I don't think your Keeper's going to be able to help me with that, but whatever else they can.
I think they will be glad to help.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Shall we have some of the food downstairs? Some Fearless Hog breakfast?
It'll be a fair sight better than anything they had at, oh, what was it again? The Bone Spur.
Yeah, it looked like somebody had spit in the big barrel of mixed nuts, so I didn't have any of those.
Neither did I. I saw that same loogie in there. Yeah, I was morbidly impressive. Let's get some real
I think
food.
Roshan gags at that and then, yeah, opens the door and starts heading downstairs.
Yeah.
It was Roshan. It was the spittoon. What he thought was a spittoon when he walked in.
No!
That's one gross loogie. Ugh.
Who did that?
Nasty. Gross.
That's why
Who
everybody
would
was
do
so
that?
hostile to us when we walked in. They saw
They're like, why would he
Roshan
do
just-
that?
How dare he? The door nuts!
That man spit on my nuts. But then mommy came in and I could not be mad at her.
Yeah, you guys are able to get breakfast that you do not spit in, and if you do, it's none of my business, and I don't want to hear about it. Um, none of my fucking business. Um, you all eat, you get yourselves together. Um, I don't think this was said out loud, but like somebody is meeting you outside the skull to give you information. So you all make your way out. Russ says his goodbyes to like Nix and Keld, and it's more of like a like I think I'm perfectly fine and capable to go on this mission, and sort of relays to you that it does sound like a pretty easy, straightforward kind of thing, and he's not worried.
And she hands him Goose to watch for while we're gone.
Neat. He definitely doesn't like put him in a sink or something, and he's like, "Can you just sit
Hang
there
out
for a
there.
while? Just put him in the tub and be like, all right, man,
Go
just
to
be
town.
cool."
Give him some balls for enrichment.
He's like, if I can get you to talk by the time Nix comes back, oh man, if I can get you talking.
He'll read him books at night.
But you guys head down the skull and go outside into the brisk, chilly air, which hits so much harder after being inside the skull. Like it is freezing outside. It cold. But you are greeted by Rose, who makes her way over. It looks like she's carrying like a tool satchel, sort of like rolled up, and has a kind of it looks like a large like schematic with it. This is everything you should need. If it's not, it's a bigger problem, and then you should just report the damage and come back this way and tell us. And she'll hand it to Roshan. Any other questions? And you are shown on a map like the most precise location that they could give for like where you are headed. Great. I want to get back inside.
Yeah, don't blame you.
We've got it from here.
Already stated, but all of these things need to be returned.
Gotcha.
And moving forward, let's keep all this information between us, okay?
Mhm.
Sindri's having a fun little breakfast right now. So
With who?
I think you know. Well, message me if you need something. If you have any questions, I will make myself available as best I can. If not, you can also reach out to Sindri. I'd say you could reach out to Dagwood, but I'm sure that is a poor choice. as I just don't think she will give you direct answers.
All right. Always reach out to Rose, who always answers when we call and gives direct answers. Understood.
Hey, I said maybe I could help. I said Sindri is your best bet. So if you can't get a hold of me, I'd contact him.
Got it.
Okay. And she will head back inside. She's like, good. And then just makes a beeline for the skull. Um,
She looked like she's in pain.
you're welcome to roll insight. That
Would
is
love
something
that. I have
she's
advantage on
not.
insight.
I rolled a nat 20 on that.
Hot damn, bud. Good job. You probably beat me if that's the
26
case.
insight.
Yeah, you beat me out. 23.
Wait a moment.
I don't read the aggravation, I just cause it.
Mm-hmm. It's Fen's MO.
And what'd you two get one more time?
26.
23.
Not that you're able to clock.
Yeah.
She's good.
Just because we already know she's in pain, I rolled like a 30 something.
Good God.
She's really on it today. Maybe it might be easier maybe after, not being up a full day to really hold that together. But you weren't able to read like any pain on her face. There's the occasional cough, but besides that, nothing. All right. How you guys getting there? You walking? You walking like normal people?
How far is it?
It's like
You
a
said she marked it on the map, but we didn't
yeah.
discuss where it was.
Yeah, it's like if you go at like a casual pace, it's probably 3 days tops.
Do we want to hoof it or
3-ish
the
days.
Nyx way?
Or we have the windwalk bead.
We could just use the windwalk bead, be there in a day. If we even want to set down a half day outside of town, just to collect ourselves, walk the rest of the way, get some fresh air, take the lay of land.
Not a bad idea.
Sure. Do we need to be a full half day outside of town? Can we get closer?
We can be wherever you like. I
Okay.
think. You know this spell as well as I do, probably better so.
Might make more sense to get closer.
Just in case.
Just
I
thought
mean,
we
you
could do
guys are
some
getting there in
bonding.
like an hour. Like
Plenty of walking time if we're closer.
Maybe we walk back.
All right, that's fine. Let's
Maybe.
get there. And Fen will. All right, let's settle down and take the form of mist, and then we'll go.
is Thick Biscuit coming, or is Thick Biscuit staying at the horse hotel?
I think if we're doing the mist walk, that would have been something we'd have discussed before, and I feel like that's easier to leave Thick Biscuit at home for, or in the horse hotel for.
Yeah.
So
it's called the Horse Hotel.
fantastic.
Canonically, the horse.
Canonically, it is the horse hotel. They have like groomers for all the horses. It's very fancy.
Yeah. You guys can get to Svelga pretty damn fast. It's when you windwalk, you can almost be anywhere you want to be, to your heart's content. Do you guys want to land right outside of town, or are you like, we're gonna actually go around town and like end up like closer to the forest, or like, what are you guys doing? Do you want to stop in or like go through Svelga?
We'll probably stop right outside of town. I don't think we need to just apparate in front of people, put them off guard. Like
within sight of town, but like not.
Yeah. Nyx doesn't want to walk. I get it. So we'll be within sight of town.
We can walk. There's just no reason to make a whole half day walk.
Yeah.
Um,
Then we'll direct the group to being, within a couple hundred yards of town
yep.
in a nice
Uh,
wooded glen, if
you
one
guys,
such exists.
I'm sure you could find some trees to bother. You all take to the skies and zoom through the air as mist. Um, it's still jarring. I'd say it's the most probably jarring, um, I would say, travel ability you guys have. Like teleport was weird and fucked up. This is a nightmare. Um,
Worse than the tuning fork?
Maybe a little bit. The thing is, it's just like your body goes so fast and then like stops so aggressive, and then your body like reconstitutes as a different thing. It's just a bad time all around. Like while you're the mist, you're like, okay, sure, I'm a little ill, but I'm fine. And then it's just like the aggressive stops, and it's like, oh shit. And then it's the reconstituting that probably sucks the most, is after jostling your body around for an hour and then landing and then just like, and now your body's back. It sucks. No like negative effects, but it just kind of sucks. um you guys land outside of Svelga. From here, it looks like a well-off, prosperous little town. It might be because it benefits from proximity to Skull City. You see similar sort of construction to the outside of Skull City, where some of it looks to be a bit older and less, I suppose, just less nice in general. More slums presenting, but like that sort of thing is like has newer building built around it. So it's sort of just kind of sandwiched all together, the old and the new. Um, yeah, there's people out and about. Um, you're welcome to meander your way through town and head towards the forest, or
We discussed that we weren't bringing Thick Biscuit. Did we bring Rex?
Rex is there unless you tell him not to be there, so he's right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Rex is assumed there unless told to not be.
And
Whereas
then you'd
Thick
have to give
Biscuit is
him
more
like a
wibbly wobbly.
reason.
Yeah,
You, Rex needs like solid reasons, or he's like, nah,
I gotta be
please turn me
there.
into mist. And then it'd be like, she doesn't, and then he has to start jogging. Um,
Oh no.
but yeah, Rex is here.
Mm.
He has on his coat. He's ready
Good.
to party.
Cool.
Could Roshan, just as we're walking through town, just ask uh, any locals he sees out and about and say, any problem with corrupted creatures lately?
Oh yeah, people go on and on about how for like the last couple months or so, things have just been like a lot worse. They say for a lot of people like out on the road and towns a little like more south of here and a little more west. A lot of people here seem to think that they have some benefits from Skull City, just in general. They seem to be like, yeah, occasionally something will meander through, and it happened more often as of late, but um yeah, nothing that they're like in the last week or the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
but they're just like, man, across the board recently, worse.
Roshan doesn't feel bad about it. He's
Good.
done with that after a couple months.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure. I'm
and
sure. Good.
and we'll just lead toward it was a forest outside of town, right?
Yeah, it's I think southeast of town. I'd have to look again, but I wouldn't say the wrong thing and then be like, haha, you went to the wrong place. So you go to the right place. I'd be like, sorry, you believed me. um, I will say while you're going about, especially Roshan, because you're like really engaging with the people of the town, um, you're like talking to an older gentleman about how things have been recently, and he's kind of droning on and on and on. And you kind of like in your periphery, it's almost like your vision blurs him out and then like focuses behind him, um, where there's like this kid who's maybe 7 or 8, and he's following behind a group of kids who look like they're probably 13 or 14, the coolest age for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and is like following him. And he's like, "No, I saw it. I swear. Come on, guys!" And he's like following behind and like just trying to get these kids to pay attention to him, but to no avail.
Roshan will just fully turn off this guy's droning and put a silver in his hands and say, "Thank you for your time," and then go after this kid.
Yeah. 100%. The kid sounds like a way better lead.
No fucking problem. And this guy shuts the fuck up and he goes. He takes his silver and he's fucking out of here. Guys, you gotta believe me. Come on. And he's like, just like following behind this group who is trying their best to sort of ignore him.
Uh, hey, friend. What is it that they're not believing you about? I want to hear your story.
He turns around to a stranger. Go ahead and roll persuasion. I'll give you advantage just because I think he just wants to tell his story. But also,
He
the
wants somebody
stranger.
to believe him. It is a stranger, but
Very good advantage rolls, like 33.
woo,
Well, I don't think
buddy.
it's that hard to make children trust you, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially children who are like, I have something to tell. I got a secret. Like,
I got
it's
a
like,
secret and somebody gotta
bend
know.
my arm.
Oh.
He sort of like looks around and sees like the other kids have like kind of kept moving, but you see one of them sort of like glances back and like begins to really slow their step. You can see that they have like the same hair color. They're probably related. So it's like, okay, I can't abandon my brother with this stranger. So they sort of hang back a bit. Okay, so you're gonna tell me that I'm lying.
No, I won't.
I promise
The
you,
only
cross
thing
my
you're lying
heart.
about was that.
Not gonna call you a liar. About anything except calling us liars.
Okay, I trust you. So I was out in the forest a little bit, not really far, just like a little bit, not really far. And he starts saying this louder, so that his sibling can hear that he was not very far in the forest.
And what
Um,
direction were you from here?
um. This kid points immediately in a direction. It is vaguely the direction you guys are going. It is not exact by any means, but it's like it is into the deeper part of the forest. So similar-ish direction.
Okay. Okay.
Around that way. So I was just like climbing trees and like looking for cool sticks, and
Super cool.
I did find a pretty cool stick, but I dropped it. There's so I saw something like, I don't know if it was like it looked like a guy, but like too big, and like he was wearing a lot of armor, and it was covered in blood, and
Oh.
and he was full of bees.
It's full of
Bees.
bees.
Could
I
you
could
see
hear
the
it.
bees, or it was just you could hear?
I could hear the bees inside of him.
There weren't any flying around, though.
Was he
Not
bigger than
that
him?
looks over at Keld and they're like, "Hmm?" Like looks up. Uh, yeah, he was bigger and wider.
Oh.
He was really big.
Wow.
Must have been very brave for you to see that and be able to tell people about it.
Yeah, I ran so fast.
I bet you're fast. You look fast. Not faster than me, but probably faster than any of the rest of them.
Okay, yeah. He seems convinced that he is faster than everybody in town. Is the energy you get immediately. With he's pretty convinced that he's fast. Yeah, but it was I don't know if he was like lost or something. He didn't say anything. He was just big and full of bees. I wonder if it was just bees under there and he wasn't a person. I don't know.
Mm.
It could have just been bees.
Mm. And was he doing anything when you saw him, or just sort of standing there?
Um, there was. It looked like blood on the ground, but I don't know if it was from him because he had a lot of blood on him. But I
Mm.
couldn't see like around him because he was so
Mm.
big.
Oh.
And he turned around and started looking at me, and so I
Oh.
ran.
I think that was the smart thing to do.
And he didn't pursue you?
Um,
He didn't chase you
I
at all?
I feel like I could hear him,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like he didn't start after me immediately. So I don't know if he was just trying to catch up, or we were going the same way, or he was trying to get me. But
Mm.
Well, he couldn't get you. You're the fastest. You
It's true.
can't catch my man. Well, I'm sorry. What's your name?
uh, he kind of like looks around, and then it's like, you see he keeps going back and forth on the being trained to not
Ah,
talk to strangers. So he's like,
right.
I shouldn't. And then he does. And then it's like a very specific question of,
Well,
what's your name? And
well,
he's like, oh, that's one of the question that the strangers
here you
ask
go. Here
me.
you go. Easy. He's Fen. I'm Nonna. That's Roshan. That's Keld. That's Nix.
And that's Rex.
And that's Rex.
Rex is like in the back, just like the
Yes.
youths. Like he seems to be having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
He's a father.
He is. I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's probably got a good vibe.
No, he seems pretty chill around children.
Mm-hmm.
That does not seem to be a bother for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my name's Hecone.
Hecone.
Hecone. Well,
Yeah,
see, nobody's faster than my man Hecone here. So
yeah.
there
Absolutely.
was no chance a big guy in a bee suit was going to get him.
No, he was way too heavy. Like
Mm.
he looked heavy.
I bet if he was that wide, he'd be awfully heavy.
Yeah, I bet it was hard for him to maneuver through the trees too, which I'm really good at.
You seem.
Maneuver, that's a good vocab word.
It's true.
Thank you.
You've been studying your letters well. Fast
I
and smart.
a little kick of the leg. Hakone, come on.
Thank you for
Roshan
telling us
will
a story.
reach into his pocket and get 2 silver
Mm-hmm.
and put a hand on Hakon's shoulder and say, now, don't be talking to strangers, at least not while your brother's around. And he will
Terrible
give the
advice.
two silver and then lean in and say, if they ask, I only gave you 1. And just whisper that to him so he can keep one if the others are bullies.
He will give you a wink, like, yes, I will tell them I only received 1. And it's just like, Hakone, come on. And he's like, I'm coming. And will like begin making his way over, and you can like hear them talking, and he's just like, why are you why did they give you money? What did you do? And like they start walking away to catch up with the group.
I told him the story you wouldn't let me tell.
But they begin to head off. And nobody else seems like they have a man full of bees story to tell you. Just this guy.
Just this kid, bloody man full of bees.
Strange.
Well, either we've got a giant full of bees who may be either a hunter or a serial killer, or perhaps a child with a slightly overactive imagination, but we're not going to say that in front of him.
Suppose we'll have to keep an eye out.
Don't know much about the machinery we're supposed to be checking out. Has anybody seen if it's a large bit of machinery that might have mechanical pieces inside that sound like bees if they're not functioning properly?
Suppose we
they'd
need to
be-
look at those schematics Rose gave us.
They'd be similar to the ones that were in town near Corinne's house, wouldn't they?
Possibly, we don't know. Roshan,
let's
have you had a chance to take a look?
get into some.
Roshan will. He has not had the chance to take a look, and says, "Perhaps once we're not in the middle of town."
Out in the open seems the last place we should be opening those schematics.
Um, I don't think they're related. At least insofar as I don't think Sindri fills them up with bees.
Or things that sound
Um,
like bees.
Guys,
Whether
imagine
they're
if it was
fruits.
bees that did this. Sindri's like, it's been bees the whole time.
Fighting corruption with bees.
It's bees
Wow.
absorb corruption. I figured
Agent
it out.
Honey was at the bottom of it all along.
Wow.
but yeah, I
But
think once we hit the edge of the forest, we can take a look at them together and make sure we're all on the same page for what we're looking for, and listening for if there's big footsteps and/or bees.
yeah.
Or the smell of blood, I suppose.
Yeah, if you got a nose that can sniff that out at 100 yards.
Well, certainly something we should be familiar with by now.
You head out into the forest, and like when you get to the edge, you're able to look at the schematics. Boy, howdy, is it the most like pulled back schematics you've ever seen. Like it is like I'm barely naming anything. There are plenty of things arrows are not pointing at because it's like kind of in the category of if this is the thing that's broken, then it is past you. It is not something we want you guys trying to repair. But if it's the things that are labeled that are broken, please by all means,
Fiddle with
the,
those.
these do look very similar to the lanterns. They look a bit more like they'd say they're a little more squat. That
Little chunkier.
they look a little chonkier. Like you don't know if this is maybe a newer model, an older model, just something they're trying out, but it does look a little different than like the more sleek build that you saw at Corrine's place.
It might make sense if they were debuting a fancy version right in front, just before the party, you know? Would have been good advertising.
Yeah, but that's basically what you've been given. If you look at the tools, you can see that most of them are pretty straightforward. Though it seems like very specific in some cases. It's like, this is a tool I recognize. This screwdriver is very weird. Has like a very specific head to it, so that it's not like somebody could meander up to one of these things and pull out a Phillips head and be like, I got this, boys.
Is that screw head shaped like a star? Who has a screw shaped like a star?
It is shaped
7
kind of like
points.
it is a multi-pointed star.
Hate torque spits.
Yeah, that is the information you have. You know that there are 3 lamps in the area, and they're like a little under a mile away from each other in a triangular shape. But you are welcome to forge ahead into the forest.
Hooray! Nana suppressing Kill Bill sirens flashbacks to the 3 placements of the 3 spots for the end of the world. It's fine.
Hey,
We're fine.
triangles
We're good.
are the
Triangles happen.
Triangles are the strongest shape in the world.
That's true. That's true.
Triangles are very
Structurally,
powerful.
architecturally.
Hexagons.
Hi, welcome to our debate where we discuss hexagons v triangles.
On this round table.
I don't know. I want to argue for pentagrams.
All right, everybody, pick your shape and we'll come back and we'll argue which shape is the better shape.
Why not
Not
square?
pentagons, pentagrams.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Yes.
No, you're welcome to come fight for pentagrams.
Those would be the strongest shape, I have to agree.
But
magically, at least.
It's not difficult. You guys move forwards. You have a map. It's a normal, not evil forest. You have 2 rangers. I don't know what to tell
Yeah,
you. Walking
yeah.
through a forest during the day, it's pretty straightforward.
It's basically like walking down the street.
No bone
It's
snakes.
No bone
no bone
snakes.
snakes.
No
Dang.
bone spiders either.
Yeah.
I'll try to guide us off the map if anyone wants to keep an ear out for bees.
Mmm.
Yeah, who's on bee watch?
I'll be listening for bees.
Let's listen for bees, Keld.
Bees.
Okay, Nix and Keld, give me perception checks.
Hell yeah. Not his head on a swivel for just general shapes in the darkness.
Nat 20,
Hell
21.
Yeah, I got 22, but that's not a nat 20 for me.
Was that your second nat 20 of the session,
was.
Greg? Good job.
I'm rolling them for dumb shit, of course.
Of course, every
No,
time.
no, the bees are important.
That's true. Listening for bees is very critical.
No bees.
We can
No
tell for
bees
sure.
that
Leave
catch
that
your
for the
attention.
best.
With a nat 20, there'd surely be some indication if there were bees.
But Keld, I will hold on to that nat 20 for a hot minute. Nix and Keld together, you're pretty just like, we can see the forest in its entirety. Nothing is safe from us. From our vision, nothing.
I see every bird.
Who needs rangers?
we start
see
pointing out
everything.
birds.
It's like when people read billboards, but it's just Keld and Nix going, bird,
bird?
bird, bird, squirrel, as you guys walk. I'm assuming you're not
Human
stealthing. You
child.
can correct me. You guys are going into the wilderness, but
With Keld, why even bother?
No
He is-
reason, really. I don't think. I mean, like, I feel like whoever is out in these woods, if they are a giant bloody bee man, I feel pretty confident sneaking up on him is not going to be necessary. We'll hear him first.
pretty solid. Pretty solid assumption of big bloody bee man.
How ominous.
Hey,
That was the description given to us.
he's a
He
big bloody
big,
bee man.
he bloody, he bees.
Hey, listen. If anybody needed ideas for a character, if you need big bloody and bees, I've got you fully covered.
3 bees.
Hit me up.
One of the bees is bees.
Of course.
His name would be Bee or like Barry or something, and it'd be great. But you continue through the forest. Fen and Nana, easy enough for you to be like, well, we have a map and we're in the woods. Watch this shit. And you guys can somersault and cartwheel your way through the forest at ease while everyone else walks behind and are like, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Us two just like shoo, 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 shoo,
Just from tree
tree
to tree.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Everybody
gotta
else
make
just
90-degree
walking behind.
turns around each tree or you're gonna get lost. But you move forwards, and as a little time passes of walking in pretty much like the chillest forest you guys have maybe ever been in, just so incredibly chill. And you could maybe account that to the lamps, or you can account that to maybe you're just pretty lucky and it's not that dense of a forest, you know? You do arrive at the first lamp. Pretty squat. It still stands at about 7-ish feet tall, but it would take like two of you, like if you guys like held your hands together and you could like hug around it as like two people. So it's
Pretty
pretty thick. Also marked on your map, I almost forgot, is the location of the testers. So the location where the two animals would be that were placed here to test corruption levels.
That
but
would
that's
be good for us to check on as well at some point.
Yeah. That would be a more like central location. So it makes sense to run into a lantern first.
Sure.
But you're welcome to, you get to the first one. Immediately, nothing apparent is standing out to you. It almost has like these like more like furnace slots in it where you can see like a bit of energy inside of it. It looks very sturdy. And I think that was probably the intent of lanterns that they are not, watching, is that they'd make them as sturdy as they can, probably. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Roshan, you're welcome to magic at it, to use your use your special eyes.
Look with your special eyes.
Yeah, I think he's going to save True Sight and just do Detect Magic and give it a once over. That's 28 Arcana.
Yeah, magic seems to be flowing through it at a steady rate. With detect magic up, you're not seeing anything that seems out of the ordinary to you.
Well, this one looks, I would say preliminarily, this one is okay. I'd like to see the others to see if there's any obvious damage before I can. My new tattoo allows me to cast True Sight, so I could look even deeper at the magic of it. But this one looks okay. So perhaps the other two, and then the corpses, and maybe we'll find nothing. Maybe, well, that would require further looking. So hopefully we find something.
Ideally. If nothing else, it would be good to at least find what is sending off this signal, Like, whatever's indicated to them that something's wrong. If we find nothing wrong with the equipment, then it's something wrong with the signal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to go? We'll just do this real simple. Would you like to go to the one that's to the left, or would you like to go to the one that's to the right?
I think we want to check on the bellwether bodies.
That's Roshan said something different, but you guys are welcome to do
Oh,
whatever you want.
okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, though. They are closer to our position than the other
They
two
would be
lamps.
midpoint, yeah.
So yeah, we
And
can go there
plus,
first.
I think it's better we get eyes on the dead bodies that may or may not be corrupting sooner rather than later.
That would definitely be telling.
Sure.
To the center.
You guys make your way to the middle. It doesn't take too long. You find something akin to about like 6 foot deep pit situation that seems to have been lined a bit with a sturdier metal, and the top also seems to be metal. Um, in your toolkit, you have something that looks like it loosens something on top of it to like pull something back to like be able to look inside. So it's like fully covered. So it's like somebody couldn't just accidentally fall in.
Does there seem to be like a viewing hatch sort of situation?
Yeah. That's what you
Okay.
need the tool to open,
Okay.
which is easy enough.
Fan will post up
Roshan
with his
will.
bow just in case.
Yeah, Roshan will unlock it and would ask, would someone with a sturdier face like to do the honors?
I'll have a look. Nana will. She'll take the lantern of revealing, and sort of peek that buddy open and look down into the peak slot.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Cool. I will do so. Da 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 da. Okay. Ba-ba-bum. 14? Rolled a bit shit. Keeps
Nana,
happening.
you have to immediately turn your head and like have to recompose yourself because the smell of rot is so overwhelming. These are still dead animals. They just can't corrupt. So now they're just doing is rotting. It is putrid in there.
Okay, 1 second. Give me a second. A second and I'll try it again.
So Nana, you're able to like cover your nose once you compose yourself and like lean in. It's oddly pretty easy for you to see into this dark pit. You're
Mm.
like, ah, okay, I see stuff in here.
Mm.
And you occasionally like lean back and you're like, okay, and you like lean
Yeah.
back in.
I gotta like come up for air.
Give me a perception check.
You've got it.
Could
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
I help by just making a small rock glow with a light cantrip and throw it in there?
Sure.
That works. That way I'm not having to like angle the lantern in through this very narrow slot. I think I also I get advantage from the rod of alertness. So with advantage, that's gonna be 25.
Okay. What you're able to pick up on, I think, pretty immediately is that these things went a very, very long time without corruption being involved at all. For them to get this decayed, you're like, all right, whatever the lamps are doing, it works. Whatever's happening in there, it works. Because of the light, you can see that at the bottom there is no metal, so it is directly touching dirt, which you could assume is because that's the only way to test if it's corruption based.
Corrupt or not, yeah.
If they covered the bottom, it probably wouldn't corrupt anyways,
Yeah,
unless it was
true.
a lot of corruption that eventually was able to sort of bleed through. But
Which wouldn't
base
then serve the
basics.
point of the bellwether.
Yeah. So you can tell that they'd been in there for a hot minute, that they are touching the ground. You are starting to see, though, what you think are the very early signs of corruption. It seems that, like, you see bones that seem to start to be like, they look like they're bending slightly in different directions than you would normally assume them to.
Like
That
a
there is like
femur that's kind of curling like a rib
there's like a
would.
sort of on the edges of everything is a like a dark ichor.
Okay. That's not
And
shadow, it's ichor.
yeah. They don't seem to be moving,
Okay.
but it seems like corruption is starting to set in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we can close that. Near as I can tell. Oh. They've been putrefying for quite some time. There is, near as I can tell, very, very early stage corruption going on in there. Very slight signs, one or two bones, shifting like they shouldn't. Not visibly moving. I mean, they have changed shape a bit. There's some ichor I can see down there. Again, not moving around, it's just present. So it's decidedly early stage corruption, very slow moving from the looks of it. So
If that's the case, then either this is a very slow process, which we've brought to or Sindri has brought to a crawl, or it's still a slow process, but something has changed more recently. So let's check the other lamps and hope that there's something wrong with one of them and we don't have to just wait around until the big bee man comes to get us.
Ooh, I hope a big bee man doesn't find me alone in the woods. Ooh,
quite
I
frankly,
really hope a big bee
I
man
don't-
doesn't find me.
I can't believe the big bloody bee man can punch as hard as the smell of that pit. Oh, I'm gonna be smelling that for weeks.
If you were alone in the woods, would you rather run into a man or a big bee man? Considering
big
all the
bloody
bees
bee
are
man.
considering all the bees are probably female. Just because of how bees work.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Won't stop them from beating the shit out of you, but
No, but you
girl
feel
power.
like girl power,
Uh,
and the bees are just trying to get food for their hive. So
well, I will present my question again, as it still is all the same to me, no matter
Mhm.
what direction you're standing in my
We
humble
going
opinion.
left
Or right?
Left.
To the
Arbitrarily?
right.
Right is good. I don't care, frankly.
You make your way to the right, and
Yeah.
make your way over. And Roshan, you using another detect magic. Once again, you don't see anything directly out of the ordinary just looking at it. Seems to be very
Yep.
similar. No immediate changes from the first lantern you were at.
Okay.
Seems to be in as good a working order as the first one.
Certainly
last
nothing
one, then.
standing
I'm
out.
hoping the third one has something different.
Let's
You guys are like,
see.
well,
No, we
everything
should have
looks
gone
tip
left.
Everything
top.
seems fine.
Should gone left.
Seems fine. So either our eyes are broke or these things ain't.
You guys make your way to the last one, heading over. Keld's still waiting for Big Bloody B-Man. So ready to see what monstrosity is Big Bloody B-Man.
I'm so
But
curious.
I was just like, I just want to know.
I just
Honestly,
want to
wanna know.
know.
it's the curiosity.
Who is he? What's his story?
But Keld, you are kind of head on a swivel. Nix, you'll see this kind of right after Keld. Keld will be like, oh, and then you'll be like, as you approach the third lantern. And it looks like a gigantic bramble, a wall of like spike or thorn is just like like next to it, like against it, like pushing against one of these lamps, just like this large tangle of brambles. At least that's how it looks from this distance. It looks like sharp and jagged in places, like a tannish brown color, and it just and you can already see from here that it is putting a significant amount of weight onto the lantern. And both of you, Nix and Keld, see this first and are able to point it out. And all of you are aware that, hey, maybe something is broken. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Good job, guys. You found it.
We
You
found Big
did
Bloody
it.
B-Man! We
Yes,
did
here he
it!
is, Big Bloody B.
I don't see a bee man. I just see brambles.
It's okay, it's the
bees
Yeti
here.
of the On the Backs of God's universe.
Yeah, this has to be
Sasquatch.
Big Bloody B Man. It must be. What else could it be? Well,
He was foreshadowed.
thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram. And if you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Facebook and Blue Sky. I just posted today on our Backs of Gods Instagram a nice little picture of Roshan and his Skull City fit. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can head on over and take a peek. Sure, I'll do that next. If you want pretty dice that for Keld rolled nat 20s all night, you can get some of Katie's dice by going to the link in the chat or the box below. Buy some beautiful dice that like to tell a story. And by tell story, I mean let Keld blow bubbles and look around the woods.
For Big Bloody B-Man.
Just
Bubbles,
listen,
Big Bloody B-Man. The dice
all
are here for the
coming
bees.
together.
I don't ask for much.
I just want to find Big Bloody B Man and smoke my bubble pipe. YouTube. You guys threw
Yes.
off my order because I
So
decided to throw
sorry.
off my order. If you want to watch more of us, we are at youtube.com/the Dice Cult. You can watch past episodes of On the Backs of Gods or episodes of Gossamer Vale, our other campaign that we have running right now, which is every other Thursday. Gossamer Vale, which is a Celtic mythology inspired campaign. Our party is, making friends, and soon we'll be ready to beat the shit out of some bandits. Truly, the D&D dream is just beating up a bunch of bandits, and I'm gonna do it with so much joy in my heart. And nary a bandit will leave this place alive unless they truly have a spark of redemption in their eyes, and everyone believes that. It'll be a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors probably, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Gossamer Vale goes live by Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So not
Mhm.
this week, but the following Thursday. You can join us for that. Thank you again. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.